lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan. Back with me again, my boy Eli. We're back talking Turtles. It's been a while since we've done one of these, so very excited to get back into Volume 4. It's funny because even though it's been a little while, I'm sure there was also huge gaps when this was coming out, so I don't think the gap of us reading it is much different than what the gap was when it was being released. Now that I think about it. I love this cover too. Weird looking wood
Well, these Donnie
alien
painted
creature.
covers are such a difference than what we actually get on the inside that it's like so beautiful and so nice.
No, they're fantastic, dude. And then we were talking about this before before we recorded. That's Stan Sakai and Peter Laird on some segues, posing for a
Peter
picture.
Laird loves his segue.
I know people hate it apparently in the letters pages. They're not a fan, but I think it's fun. I think it's cool, like them just hanging out, riding around Northampton on segways.
It's so awesome. And like you got to think these are like the first couple segues on the market too. This is like he was a super early adopter.
Dude, look at the screen tones. Can you see this? How
the moire pattern kind of thing.
it's crazy looking. So yeah, I think when we left off, like the turtles were kind of all doing their own thing. This is Donatello going with the group of Utroms to that island where the previous ones got massacred.
Yeah, by all the raptors and stuff. It is really cool. They really kind of set everyone on their own path. Like each turtle has their own storyline, and April and Casey have one, and we're just kind of jumping back and forth between.
I kind of dig that a little bit. I know that, well, I mean, like I said, there's people throughout these letters pages, and I love that Peter prints them anyway, but just complaining about this direction. And it's like, I don't know. I liked it back then, and I was a teenager when this was coming out. So I didn't look at it one way or the other. It's just, this is the progression of these characters.
That's what I thought too. We're all getting older, and so to think that these characters aren't going to get older and have a little bit more cerebral lives is crazy.
It's funny because I wonder if Eric Larson got the same pushback with Savage Dragon. I didn't read some of those letters pages when Dragon's son takes over the book, because because that book is in real time. So everything that's happening in the world is in that book as well. So that's why I look at it this way. It doesn't bother me. Turtles get older, they don't recover as fast. They got the aches in their joints.
That's like us. They just want to ride segways around.
They don't want to walk it anymore. They want the machine to walk for them, dude. Yeah. This creature, what I find really interesting about it too is when they examine it afterwards.
Oh yeah.
And they find out. Yeah.
It's like shooting at them, and they're like, Donnie's like, don't land yet, we can't. And they're like, we've gotta land. And they're like, oh no. Then they finally do, and they're like, okay, we shot back at this guy. Let's go check out the blast radius. Let's see what happened. And they check it out, and they find a blasted off arm. And they're like, all right, let's put it under the scope. Oh, wait a second. These components appear to be of Utrom design. Bum, bum, bum.
And I think it's also important to note, because I don't even think they mention it, but this island was also a dumping ground for their waste. So their ooze was on the island. That's how we saw those dinosaurs, or those lizards that looked like dinosaurs rather. So I think that
the other ship got all disastered, and so there's all this stuff littered around there, and so something else got mutated. It's kind of interesting.
We go back to April and Casey.
Smash cut.
Yeah. So, and when we left off with them, she was going through her parents' stuff, right? Going through old photo albums, home movies, and stuff like that. And now they got the projector screen, which I think Casey grabbed, right? From somebody, or somehow he came up.
Yeah, I think so. They're like, something fishy's going on here. They continue to watch this thing, and she's like, there, like, did you see it? Did you see that?
Yeah.
And it's like she's picking out these really intricate things, and this is a very interesting and strange kind of story, I guess we know where it's leading, so
we do, yeah. But so maybe I don't know if everybody watching those, but yeah, it is interesting to go.
We won't drop it yet.
it is interesting to go back and like watch how long it took, because I think when we were recording a few issues earlier, you had remembered, and I kind of had like a vague memory of
Yeah.
April's origins. And so like it took me a second and then I remembered. But I didn't remember it taking this long to get there either. So
Yeah, they're really drawing it out. And I wonder if like, he as a writer is really just being like, yo, this is going to be a huge drop. So let's kind of take some time. Or if like they were kind of like, what exactly are we going to do? No, they must have known because they're really building to it. They're like, here's sketchbook 7. He's drawing pictures of me, but this is like 2 years before I was born. What's going on?
and then she's like looking like, what, but look at my sister. She's 2.5 years old here, but she's 4 years older than me. And my dad's drawing a picture of me as a baby. What's going on? How is that even possible? Like, because she wouldn't have been born yet
Yeah.
at this point.
That makes sense.
And it just builds that mystery, dude. And then we always leave on that like moment. She's like, how is that possible? Boom, and you're done. And then you don't go back to her for a while.
Yeah.
And Raph was attacked by vampires in the last issue.
Yeah. I mean,
You
he
see
is
him.
hurt.
Yeah, he's fucking wounded, dude. And then we see these piece of shit
Humans, of course.
alien haters,
Yep. They start kicking a man while he's down. And then they're going for his size, and we see from off screen, I don't think you want to do that, compadre.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, you're bugging out.
I love this because like that's not terrifying at all.
No, neither of them are
An Utron, this like fugitoid, like a nice looking robot. Like I wouldn't be scared, and like they don't give a shit.
Yeah,
Yo,
until
you be bugging, yo.
yeah, this
That
guy's
dialogue.
characterization isn't great.
We ain't scared of no stupid blobby Ooty Booty and his little robot pal.
But
That's some great dialogue.
yeah, until he transforms into his big explorer robot body that we haven't seen since the very beginning of this run.
Yeah, I like that too because he's like, I generally abhor violence in all its forms. However, occasionally it does have a legitimate use. Let me demonstrate.
Yeah,
Now, do you perceive my point, you witless troglodytes? So good.
We go back here to the transmat,
Right.
which of course features prominently in the Star Trek Ninja Turtles crossover that I'm starting to write in my head for my own fun and enjoyment.
You should just do it and make one. That'd be dope.
They're just trying to go to San Francisco to like check out a baseball game and maybe go to some art museums, and it accidentally transmits them to the future of San Francisco, Starfleet Academy. Boom, set up.
Yes.
White Mikey, don't spill your Dr. Pepper on the transmat. No.
So this is interesting too, because like they were allowing humans to like go
to the worlds.
Yeah, I don't remember them mentioning that was a
Well, if they
possibility.
open the door one way, it's
Yeah.
gonna kind of open the other.
It makes sense. But like I wonder, it's like, is it free to anybody? Or is it just like, I mean, obviously I don't think the Utrons are charging, but how are they screening people that they're allowing to go? You'd imagine that's the process, but
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool because you see one human come back, you got an alien here, alien there. Mikey is like almost like an ambassador with this like
for real.
band.
And it's cool too, like, because we haven't recorded, I don't think, since the Turtles movie came out. Has it really been that long?
It has.
In order to talk about, that the changes that they made to the universe in that movie, where the Turtles are out in the open, much like this series, and clearly they set up some things in that movie with like the Utrom character there, but they didn't reveal that they were aliens in their bellies yet or something, so
No, I mean, yeah, we really should have done a video talking about the movie. I mean, I guess we still could. It doesn't really matter. It's like,
yeah, we still could just get it on, so that'd be fun.
but yeah, I think it's interesting too because you don't see a lot of stuff from Volume 4 that has been integrated into the IDW run of Turtles.
Sure.
But this character is Regenta.
Regenta, the Regenta.
Yeah, like she is, but they did change her in the sense that like she's Triceraton, which in this one, well, I guess I'm burying the lead here, but I mean, they're waiting, right? They're kind of giving Mikey a hard time because he's going to be the one to take her around. Like, oh, she's not a queen; she's what you'd call a princess, right?
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of work because they're high maintenance, and so they're prepping them. And then she finally comes and Visually we can see they're not triceratons because they have more spikes. They're steracodons. And so then they're like, oh, we're the Steraki. So we're basically introduced, to this new, I guess, race of aliens that are not, they think just derogatorily about the
Triceratons. Yeah,
triceratons.
it's weird. Because I always remembered, like thinking back when I was remembering this book, I remembered it as they were the Triceratons.
Yeah.
Like I didn't remember like the small details that they're not. But I think it's interesting too because like they still have that kind of smug attitude of the Triceratons.
Yeah, they definitely do. Yeah. And they're probably, it's again probably one of those science fiction situations where they're so similar, and yet it's just this one little teeny single difference that makes them different. And they're like, we are completely opposite of the Triceratons. We are Strike.
Almost like they're racist towards towards the
Yeah.
Triceratons.
They show that it's just a little teeny thing. Like, let this be your last battlefield in Star Trek or TOS, where one side's black and the other side's white, and on the other people, the one side's white and the other side's black, and that's.
I love this too. Is Mikey's trying to help her down, and like she can't be touched, especially by an outworlder.
Yeah, he's
Outworlder.
like, get away from her. And I like the tone. The tone work in all this. Is so good. It's. I guess it's early digital toning, and so it's. There's a lot of it, but it sure works.
Yeah, it's definitely you can definitely tell the difference of like the early issues of this run when the tones I don't think were completely all digital.
Sure.
I think some of them were still traditional. At least it looked that way. I mean, you can tell there's a difference if you looked at like issue one of this run and then you go to this one.
Yeah, they're a little bigger and they're a little more perfect. She's like, I requested a human, an Earth person, and he's like, well, I'm from Earth, but it's a long story. And
Yeah.
she's like, take me to your natural history museum.
I wish to see the relics of your planet's past. I love that.
He's like, all right, word, let's go. My favorite place. Take the subway.
And then he's like, who's gonna protect her? And he's like,
me.
yeah. I fought your kind before.
Yeah. You want me to prove how strong I am, fool? And this is where we get the like, he's like, I fought and beat Triceratons and more than one. He's like, ha ha, Triceratons, those 3-horned chumps. They are inferior to Steracodon. That's so funny. I love this panel too.
I do too. You push your luck with your insulting impertinence, Earther.
The detail too, Peter's pencils and Lawson's. I guess it's Lawson's inks.
I think it's Lawson penciling.
Oh, it's
and Laird and Talbot sharing inking duties on this.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so we still get like, I think they have this really symbiotic relationship, if not on the page, then at least in my mind, because when I was really getting, when I was reading this so much, their styles kind of meld together so well. And Laird and Talbot, it's like one.
It creates a new artist.
Yeah, it's so great.
Yeah.
All right, so they're ready to go. He's like, all right, just before we go into the city, though, you're going to need to watch a small informational VHS. Not a big deal. No, it's an orientation disc. So can you please come with us into this small ante room here where you're going to watch a brief video hosted by Christian Slater. That'd be funny, though.
That would be funny. I love this, too, as he's standing behind them. And he's like sticking his tongue out with the L over his head.
Yeah.
That's
the
awesome.
shape of an L on his forehead. Oh man. And the look in her eye too is she's there. She's kind of like got that like princessy thing, like here I go.
Kind of like there's nothing going on upstairs.
It does look like
that. Like it's like she's just kind of like, and she's not. I mean, she's definitely gonna be a major factor moving forward, especially her relation with Mikey. But like she just looks like you can see like in their faces this like stern like soldier look to them, like not anger, but
yeah, just like we're at work here, we're doing our stuff, and she's like, yay, museum.
Now we get back to Raph.
Back at Kurtzberg Memorial Hospital where they took Raph. Honeycutt's like, yo, this is not good.
Yeah, and, like they mentioned the vampire attacks.
Oh, sorry.
Fuck, Fuck, I can't remember his name.
He's not one
Steve?
of the
Is it
superhero
Steve?
names. Oh yeah, Stainless Steve.
Yeah.
All right, so he's like, dude, the wounds, Honeycutt's like the wounds are pretty much just like these other like quote unquote vampire attacks we've been seeing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy. But you're gonna really want to see this. And Stainless Steve's kind of like, dude, why is he behind bars? Wait a
Yeah,
second. Are
look
you
at that. I
taking me
thought he
to
was
like,
wounded and suffering from loss of blood, not a dangerous patient, surely.
yeah? He's like, why are you walking me to the like high security, like major area? And then he's like, just go ahead and take a look in there. And then,
Yeah.
he's like, oh. And that's when we see Raph has a next mutation. Bun, bun, bun.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah. And it's interesting how too there's these different ideas that they had for different incarnations. And I think that the original pitch for there was going to be a fourth live action movie, and there was going to be like each turtle had a new mutation or something, and this was Raph's where he was going to become more like kind of feral.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
That's
There's a
interesting.
couple of, and I think that's a bit where the thing of like Donnie becoming part robot.
In the Image comics, are you talking about?
Well, yeah, that it ended up becoming an idea for the Image comics, and then I think Peter's been open to say that Volume 4 they developed a lot of the different ideas that they had like throughout all these different incarnations and pitch meetings and different things. So he's like, let's use them all for Volume 4.
Yeah, it's funny because now, like, that's kind of what IDW did. They just took ideas from all the different incarnations, melded them together.
Yeah. And I think that's what Turtles has the ability to do that many other, like, as much as I love Star Trek or as much as I love Star Wars or something like that, you can't continue to reinvent those things. I mean, you can recast in JJ Abrams style, but you're still like making the thing. You're still
Yeah.
Kirk and Spock in it.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you're still Raph and Leo and Donnie and Mikey in it, but you can really change it completely. Like just like they did in the movie. Like, and that's what a lot of these fanboys online are like. The movie sucks, and I'm like, dude, if you think the movie sucks, you're not a Turtles fan, and you suck.
I know. I don't get it because, like,
You want it to
these
be the '80s cartoon, and guess what? The '80s cartoon sucks.
and the 80s cartoon is also not what the
The Turtles
1984
are
comic was, right?
not even
So
close.
there's the 84 comic, there's the 87 cartoon, and then there's also what came, after that with, volume 2 of Turtles, which is a progression of volume 1, and then you had the Image Comics run, then you had the 2003 cartoon, the 2012 cartoon. So it's like all of these are different iterations, it's different
You hate
generations.
every iteration except for the one that was on when you were a kid that you
Yeah.
remember through rose-colored glasses, because I love that cartoon. I loved it, but when I try to rewatch it, it doesn't hold up. Now, granted, I put on the Pluto channel the other day and fell asleep and woke up and then watched like 3 episodes and it was amazing, but it's like neither here nor there.
Yeah. No, I totally get you. I've tried to go back and watch it, and I'm like, it's not. I'd rather have it be the memory in my head from a kid than to, like. I couldn't sit and watch a season, is what I'm saying. I may be able to watch 1 or 2 episodes, but I don't think I can binge watch that show.
But if you love something, let it free, and if you love something, let it grow and let it be what it is, and that's why I loved Volume 4 of Turtles so much, is because Peter unapologetically made it grow. And the letters column shows that people were pissed.
Yeah, I know this fucking guy right here, and I love that it's this long letter. Like, because I skim them. I don't like reading people bitch. It annoys me. But this one response from Pete, I look at his responses more than I look at the question.
Absolutely.
And he's like, I'm trying to pulse out why, if everything about the latest incarnation of Turtles is so dreadfully boring, you are still planning to purchase the DVDs of the new show. The phrase glutton for punishment springs to mind.
Yeah, that's what's so funny. People constantly bitch and moan about it, and yet are buying every single toy from the movie.
Exactly, dude. I mean, it's annoying, but that's why I love, like, that we have like all these. If you're a true Turtles fan, you can find something to love in every iteration. At least in my mind. Except I can't watch the Michael Bays. I'll be honest, I haven't watched them. So maybe I
You've
should.
never seen them at all.
I haven't seen them at all.
Okay. Well, they're not terrible.
Okay,
They're
I'll
not
check. I'll check it
unwatchable
out.
trash.
I'll check it out. I have like, I guess I have like I guess it's the name Michael Bay attached, where I'm just like, I feel like he just does too much. Like sometimes it's
Right.
like for the
The
sake
designs are insane.
I just,
Like
yeah,
they're way
turtles
too big.
they should never be taller than human beings.
No.
So,
But
but anyways,
they're fun. I
I'll
do
check
think
it out. Next issue coming up, we get Raph on the table, all fucking looking roided out, spikes on his forehead, spikes in his mouth. His feet have all gotten all crazy looking. Oh yeah, and I can't forget this ad for Tales of TMNT, the second volume.
that's
Issue
right.
1's gonna start coming out.
Yeah, we should maybe start getting into some of those, dude. There's some really interesting stories in there, including the return of the Cowboys of Moon Mesa.
Yeah, dude, I'm down. Like, sprinkle some of these in between the volume 4.
Yeah, dude.
I'd be down to do that. But yeah, another great issue. Love going through these. Make sure you check out the playlist. There's a whole bunch of turtle vids on here. Most of them are with Eli as well. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid drops. And on that note, we're out.
Shell yeah.